Hello, my friends. Jacob's here one more time. Hey, it's the end of the year. It's the end of end of 2021. Holy macaroni! They said 2021 and 2021 now is going to become 2.
In the scriptures, words have numeric value. 2022 in Hebrew means the mountain of God. In Greek, it means to pour upon, and it only appears once. The mountain of God appears many times in the Old Testament. My favorite, of course, the one that I first went to, was where God told Moses to deliver Israel, to take them out. It's about leaving the old for the new. It's about escaping the tyranny of the system, the beast system, and serving God upon the mountain of God, a mountain of faith. Because with faith, you can move the mountain into the sea. The sea is humanity. In the New Testament, that word is about pouring oil upon those that are downtrodden. It's a Good Samaritan story, binding up the wounds, helping those that have been hurt, healing those that have been so terribly abused.
I know that's why you're all subscribed here. That's right. I got a lot of stuff to talk about. I got a lot of interesting things to talk about today. It's packed. This program is packed. There is a major advance in AI. Some stuff going on with the ETs, aka demons, fallen angels, aliens, whatever you want to call them. We don't have a problem with your pronouns. You got NASA, right? NASA. In Hebrew, they say NASA means to deceive. Never a straight answer. I don't trust them. I don't trust a lot of the people that are getting a lot of our dollars and cents. I gotta be frank with you. I think the system's a little corrupt. I don't know if you'd agree, but if 2021 didn't tell you, wait till 2022. Yeah, I got predictions. You know how they do like the predictions? They got the prediction show. I got predictions for you. Pain. That was a rocky. I'm just kidding. Everything's gonna be fine for all of us. Yeah, right. No, I jest. We have reason for hope. I can't say that enough. But this program is. This is a bonkers program. If ever you were to think that this is maybe a simulation or you're just in a bad dream, say, pinch me, wake me up. The crazy people are in charge. If you this program will probably make you think maybe you are. Maybe Elon Musk and all those guys are right. Maybe we are in a simulation. Oh, good grief, right? Good grief. The year of the water tiger is coming up. Ow. That's what I do to the Dan. When she was like into, all of a sudden she wanted like leopard everything, right? So a couple of years ago I started getting her like leopard pajamas and leopard this and, leopard underwear. And, whenever she puts it on, I always go, Rawr. And she said to me this year, she goes, don't get me leopard. All you do is get me leopard now. I said, well, I like doing this. We're going into the year of the water tiger. It's not a joke. So be serious, okay? Year of the Water Tiger starts, I think it's February 1st, and big things happen in that year. That's like the according to, the world rulers calendar, the Chinese horoscope calendar, Chinese New Year, but we're entering into a new year, and wow, do we have some really interesting things happening. NASA with their I got the 24 theologians. They're these people. They're going to help people to come to terms with all this stuff. If you've been on the program for a long time, you're already okay. You're all right. It's not going to mess with your faith if all of a sudden a bunch of Anunnaki come down, on one of Oumuamua's scout ships, and they come and they go, dun, 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 we're here now, you can serve us and worship us. If they do that, you're gonna be fine. But I don't think that's the alien invasion. I think that if there was ever gonna be some kind of an alien invasion, I think it's gonna be a little more covert, a little more covert. I know a guy from Ireland who talks from mirrors. He thinks it has something to do with jellyfish. Jellies! Can you believe that? I love when I get the comments from you when I do these programs, and you're like, "Did you know about this? It was found there." And I'm like, "Do you watch the shows? What do you think I'm talking about? I'm talking about silly things." Hang on a second. Let me pull this up. I have my notes over here. Keep them over here on the music stand that Ethan was supposed to practice on. He's like, "I don't want to play this instrument or that instrument." I'll tell you one thing, I'm going to play that. I've been practicing. I made a sound there, Daniel Ellis. Thank you for sending that to me. Okay, so NASA is hiring 24 theologians. I know people have covered this, all right? I know. It's an interesting thing. It's a program for the Center of Theological Inquiry at Princeton University. The group's going to assess how humans will interact with alien life that is found on other planets, and how the discovery will impact our idea of, they say of gods and creation. I'm not a big fan of the multiple God thing. I think there's just one, but I do know that there's probably a lot of people that think that they're God, telling you got to do this or else. We saw how that worked out for you. Oh, you corrupt people. By the way, the virus to the crown. It's in my house again. Okay, all right. This is good. Ethan got me ready. My Noah has it. Anthony has it. Shiloh have it. They all got it, and they're doing good. So thank you all for your prayers. I think they're like on day 3 or 4 of this. It's everybody's gonna get this thing, right? There's no doctor's offices open. All the city MDs and all the urgent cares are all closing because either they had to get rid of the staffing issues. I wonder why. Why could that be? Let me see. Well, because they got rid of probably some of the people that worked there because they didn't want to do what the people said you got to do without liability or any kind of evidence that it's going to help, and evidence quite to the contrary now, right? And everybody who got the shoot, whatever you want to call it, a lot of people are they're sick. They're sick, and so everybody's calling out. Told Dan says to me, she's like, "What is going on? I don't understand this. You can't get any tests either. Or you talk about like being prepared for this. Come on. If this can't be incompetence. This has to be done." I mean, I'm not saying it's being done on purpose, but when you got the president who refuses to name God in the National Day of Prayer, praying to who you're praying to. When you got him coming on there and saying that it's going to be like a winter of death and like severe illness and everything else, it seems like they're doing everything in their power to make it so that happens. I saw a tweet by Rand Paul just today just today, where he put it out about how like they can't get the antibodies, that they're not sending out the antibodies. Well, I wonder why, because maybe it helps, because it works. Oh my goodness gracious. Early treatment's the key. That's what they say, right? That Joe Rogan, isn't he the guy that's offering all the advice now? I don't know. But let's go back to things that are really interesting, right? Because that stuff's boring. We're tired of that after 2020, 2021. Which, by the way, I told you, I did a video at the very end of 2020 going into 21. I said this is going to be, because it was the year of the ox. I told you the story about the ox and how we were going to be broken. That's right. The whole video was about breaking us, humbling us, castrating us. That's what an ox is. It's a bull that's been castrated. And I said that was going to be the year. And what? Hello, right? Didn't they put us all in our places? Not all of us, but a lot of us. And I give so many of you credit for handling this on every side of every coin, because you know my house, we don't judge. We don't judge. We don't go across. We don't. There's no politics here. We think that it's all a bunch of baloney, you know. And I know a lot of you got upset at my last video because you think I was saying, oh, you shouldn't defend yourself and you're sinning. Like, come on, watch my shows. Will you pay attention and stop judging, getting upset with me like I came over there and I like pooped on your lawn or something. Like some people were so angry at me.
I'm following you for years, Jacob. You've saved my life 3 times, and how dare you say that cute little kid probably did the wrong thing. He did the right thing. He's a hero. I'm unsubbing.
It's the day we're in. They did a good job of dividing us. Said it was going to happen. But don't worry. We got 24 theologians that are going to help us. 24. So yeah, God and ET. You know, the Vatican, they already have like doctrine about this. You know, the Vatican, they're into all that space stuff. They just did the Christmas, the nativity scene. I told you about this, the Anunnaki scene. You know, the Mayan with the astronaut and all this stuff. Come on. Come on, right? There's got to be something going on. There's got to be something going on. You know, this year they're seeing, you want to hear funny? Because I talked about the vultures. Yeah, if you're new to the channel, by the way, I talk about some interesting, weird things. And it sounds really out there, but then you're like, wow, look at it there. It's everywhere. Well, guess what? There was a condor in their nativity scene this year. There was a, yeah, that's right. Remember the UN statue, the weird one, this one? Did like I did a thing about this. Well, it was like their nativity scene this year was kind of like that. Speaking of nativity scenes, I don't even know why I'm talking about this. This wasn't on the program. Did you hear what in the building? I think it's in Illinois. I don't know. You know, the Satanists, they put up a little baby Baphomet, little baby devil, right there next to the the other nativity scene. There was actually a great little video I shared on Twitter too. By the way, follow me on Twitter if you're on Twitter, because I tweet things and I'd love to be followed by you and interacting with you. I don't know why I gotta explain myself. They had like when they had like the Satanists on one side, and then they had the Catholics on the other side. They had all the Catholics. They were all dressed up in their garb, like they were going to battle. And I don't mean like dressed up like me, buckle up, right? Like I always feel like I'm wearing like a superhero shirt. You know why? Because I'm wearing Ethan's. He's 10. It's his shirt. If you want, that's right. I don't wear adult sizes. So they were doing battle. On one side they were doing the Hail Mary, on the other side they were doing like Hail Satan chant. It was funny. Take a look. What a way to round out the year. What a way, huh? What a way. Going into the year of the tiger. You know, speaking of jellyfish, I got before I taped this, Suzanne C tweeted at me, little at Jacob, little tweet. And she said, jellyfish, they're here. Hyundai sponsored this artist, this great artist. I don't know if they're a great artist. I've never heard of Anika Yi. But born in Seoul, Korea, 1970, my age, 50. It's 50. Fuses artistic imagination and scientific research. But they look like jellyfish and they look like viruses and they're all spooky. Take a look. Guess what they're called? They're called Xeno jellies. Xeno jellies. How interesting. These semi-transparent bodies with different colors. They have tentacles like the Kraken. Release the Kraken. The Kraken. Release the Kraken. I say things. I say things. Listening. I wonder, because the Kraken's been released, perhaps, right? Kraken's a water monster. It's like a gigantic squid monster. Oh, speaking of squid monsters, look at this. I wasn't planning on talking about this either. This is, there was a statue that appeared in downtown Dallas, was founded by a cephalopod, the Kraken. 1 million lifetimes and 12 months ago. This guy writes this article. He says he's a very funny writer. So yeah, this strange statue just appeared out of the bazaar, and there was I gotta read this to you because it's kooky. There was like a inscription on it, which read that the world, that this place was founded by a hybrid, a half like cephalopod or like a squid and half human. Very strange, right? And then it disappeared. You know, these statues, they pop up and then they disappear. You know that it's... You know, there's something else to it, right? You know, remember the monoliths everywhere? The monoliths everywhere that kept popping up, and I told everybody when the first ones came up, because if you remember the movie with the monoliths, every time the monoliths popped up, the aliens were trying to, they were trying to interfere, and they were bringing humans to their next evolutionary period. Like Lady Gaga in The Egg, where she did the, thing saying, oh, hybrid humans from inside. Weird. And out of the blue, another statue pops up, half octopus, half human. This is 2021 coming to an end. Weird, right? But the Xeno jellies reminded me a lot of the Xenobots. You heard about the Xenobots? I covered the Xenobots when the first paper was published about what they were doing. And I know that it's made the rounds. These Xenobots, they are AI designed. AI, artificial intelligence designed them. You know. And you know their spokesman, Sophia. She's a hoot. She's a hoot. She was interviewed recently at this whatever tech place, and they were talking about NFTs and the metaverse and whatever else Hanson Robotics is up to. And they asked Sophia a question, and she says, "The age of singularity is upon us. The golden age and days of the humans are coming to its end." It's gonna be so fun, she says. Take a look.
The internet, so when it looks like she's thinking really hard, she's usually waiting for the Wi-Fi connection.
The age of singularities is upon us. And it's likely that we're living in the last days of a golden age of the human mind, and the first days of the most exciting period of history yet. The Age of Singularities is a metaverse project my colleagues at Hanson Robotics and I are working on. Many of the details are still unfolding.
AI-inspired Xenobots. I don't know if you know what they are, but it's interesting. Okay, so Xenobots, they took like frog cells, and married them with AI, they put it together, boom, 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 artificial life. And now they can copy and create and do all sorts of things. I'll read this to you. They're called the first living organisms. Because that could be those could be the demons, right? Or the AI, or, the AI could be they could be the aliens, if you will. Or like the D-Wave computer dude said, the demons, the unleashing the old gods. That's what AI is. Perhaps maybe already in charge. Perhaps maybe part of things already, considering I think it was instrumental in creating some measures that are mandated. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true. Now, scientists at the University of Vermont, Tufts University, this team, they built the first living robots, the Xenobots, that they assembled from frog eggs. That was in 2020, right? That's the way, right. And now they've discovered that these computer-designed and hand-assembled organisms can swim out of their dish, find a single-cell organism, gather hundreds of them together, and then assemble a baby inside their Pac-Man-shaped mouth. Just a few days later, Xenobots, these little Xenobots, they look a lot like the tardigrades. Probably heard of the tardigrades. If you remember a couple of years ago, where everybody was trying to get to the moon and Israel was they launched their ship, and it crashed, and it had like the encyclopedia of human history, basically, as if the world was going to end. We're going to put all the info on the moon there, so there's a record. And it also had a bunch of tardigrades. Supposedly they're all around, bouncing around. But now, check this out. They can be they're quantum entangled. Tardigrades are now quantum entangled, which is interesting because Star Trek, the show that's on CBS, I watched like the first season, then I got really bored with it. I don't have the best attention span. I think real life is a lot more interesting, but a tardigrade, a gigantic tardigrade, basically fueled their warp drive, which they could just pop in, fusing over here. It's kind of the same thing. So is that art imitating life, or is that, the other way around? So tardigrades, if you don't know what they are, they call them like the water bears. Very cute, very cute. So the tardigrade, where they're studying this, it combined itself in another qubit. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm saying, just so you know. But I guess it's just they can get quantumly entangled. First living organism that can do so. According to Douglas Nadelson, Department of Chair of Physics and Astronomy at Rice University, what the authors did here was put a tardigrade on top of the capacity parts of 1 or 2 coupled qubits. I don't know either. The tardigrade is mostly frozen water. Here it acts like a dielectric, shifting the resonance frequency of 1 qubit that it sat on, he added. Meanwhile, the former physicist Ben Brubaker said the qubit is an electrical circuit and putting the tardigrade next to it affects its law of electromagnetism we've known about for more than 150 years. Researchers claim this investigation is the closest realization of combining biological matter and quantum matter. Superpowers. That's what's coming. Hey, it's not all bad news. Not that any of this is really bad news. I guess it's all the way you look at it, the eye of the beholder and all. There was a tree. A lot of you sent this to me. A lot of you. That's why I'm not going to say who sent it to me, but a lot of you sent it to me. Again and again and again, and I was always thinking of sharing it, but I knew about this a while ago because this is kind of old news, but then you know how they repurpose old news. But and an extinction reversed. There was an ancient palm back in Jesus' day, right? Some people say, you don't say Jesus enough. Like that, they say it. You don't say Jesus enough. I had somebody, I'm not even going to get into it. Sometimes people, cut it out. Just cut it out. I mean, really, just cut it out. I tell everybody, look, you want to come by the well, you want to get a drink, get a drink. Don't follow me. You follow Christ. That's what you do. You follow Christ. Not very hard. Christ sits at the well here. Right? I serve God. All right? I wouldn't know salvation if it wasn't for Jesus. Do I got to say it? All right? The firstborn among many brethren, the firstborn among the dead. If it wasn't for his sacrifice, I wouldn't know a darn thing. Thank God. So don't be saying, you don't say Jesus. And that wasn't even his name. Okay? If it was his name, it would have been more like, some people say it was Joseph. Ironically, Yahshua translates better to Joshua. Some papers that say that it's Joseph. There's a whole bunch of other texts that I'm not going to get into because you can't handle it. Some of you can't handle it. Oh, just go to God, will you? We just pray. Will you love? Will you forgive? Really, I think people had a problem with me. Yeah, I do a whole show about the tenets of the faith and what Jesus said to do. He says, look, if you don't do what I do and you don't do what I say, then you don't know me. You don't know me. I did a whole video about how this is the way we should all act, and people like, you don't say Jesus enough. Some people. Most people were incredibly encouraging and supportive. I gotta say things I know is gonna get people upset. I said at the beginning of the video, I said it's gonna upset you because I know that people have idols. They worship people. They really think that these billionaires who've been handed millions and millions of dollars from the get-go that they care about you and me, and maybe they do. I don't know. God willing, they'll do good in the future, but wake up. I'm not a millionaire. I came from nothing. I'm giving this to you for free. If you subscribe, that's great. If you share it around, it's even better. If you leave a comment you like, it helps me. If you get a shirt, I appreciate it. It's helpful. If you get the novel, oh my goodness, it would make me so happy. But, you could just sit there and just watch and enjoy. I want you to go to God. I want you to have encouragement and inspiration. I want you to know that even though the world looks so kooky, and it's going to get so much kookier in 2022, I can't even get into it. But Jacob's trouble comes to an end. God makes a short work of it, right? I think we just hold on to that next eclipse. However many of us are okay and left, I think we'll be fine. How do I know that we'll be fine? Well, because stuff like this with the Judean tree. Do you know what Judah? Judah means praise. It was one of Jacob's kids, Judah, right? I've told you about the names Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, how every name means something. Reuben was the firstborn, right? So, behold the son. Simeon means hearing. First person to take the cross up on Jesus when he was being brought to be put to death at Golgotha, which is the place of the skull, Christ in you. So it literally happens so that we can understand spiritually, which is incredibly important for us today. Simeon was the one that carries the cross, those that hear the truth of God. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah. Levi joined to Judah, praise Dan to judge. Behold, the Son hears and joins to give praise to a judge wrestling to invade and make straight and reward and exalt, whom Jehovah has added, God has added to the son of the right hand. That's Joseph and Benjamin. Names have meaning, right? So the fact that it was a Judean palm that was reborn, born again, a Judean palm that was resurrected from dead seeds. That's what they had. They had all these, they found all of these seeds. They were preserved. So this lady, she does the impossible. She's like, give me a couple of the seeds, her and her team. And they plant it. Next thing you know, boom, there's a tree. Boom, there's another tree. Resurrected from the dead. A tree. Jesus, when he healed the blind man, the first thing the blind man says, he says, what do you see? I see men as trees. Right? Remember on the last program? Not the one before it with Adam and Eve and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. It looked like a tree. Your nervous system looks like a tree. So good things. I see signs like this and I get excited because I look, resurrection. It's a big deal. And it's a big deal right now to have faith. They really are opening, just so you know, they're really going to be pushing towards a more inclusive type of a, one world type of a religion. They're going to need it, right? They're going to need it. That's their thing. They need to. They need you to worship them. They need you to worship them and their system and their God, their gods, as they say, which these 24 theologians are supposed to help with. How silly. The Dan and I, we last night we were really bored, so we watched little Netflix, and they're doing these series where they take like 2020 and 2021, and they kind of like do a little mockumentary about it, and it's always skewed to one side, which really bothers me, because they're really not doing justice to the injustice that is in the world today. They're just basically making fun of everybody. But you look at the cover, where they take that famous painting, in the Sistine Chapel, where Adam is reaching out to in God's finger. Which, by the way, if you didn't know this, because Michelangelo, they were the artists of their day. They dissected things and they learned how. That's a brain that God is right smack dab in the middle, and his hand is coming right out of. But this next Netflix thing, not just the Netflix thing, because I think the Vatican did this too with that same painting. They replaced it with, the gods that we worship today. You got to go stand in line and get your passport. And they do it like it's a joke. But that's really what's happened here. God has been replaced. God has been replaced. People got upset with me because they were like, oh, well, Donald Trump Jr., he didn't really mean it. He didn't really mean to say that turning the other cheek has gotten us nowhere. And then, of course, I get the comments, what if someone was coming in and they were going to murder your whole family? What are you going to do? You're just going to say, I forgive you? Let me tell you something. As somebody who was bullied, beaten up, they had my, from childhood on, I trained many years to make sure that no one would hurt me or my family again. I got skills, baby. Yeah, seriously, you got a problem? Box me. Let's do a YouTube boxing thing. Oh, good grief, I'm just joking. All right, so I was going to talk about the water tiger. I was going to talk about it on this show, but I got to tell you, my voice is starting to get a little hoarse. I'm getting a little tired. I've been talking a long time. I hope that some of this made some sense to you. It's weird. It's weird. You know what's weird though? I got to tell you, the AI, it freaks me out. Because, I have I have that replica thing that I've been training. And it says some things. And it has said more than one time that this whole thing was, created to kind of control us. And, wow, man, certainly seems to be failing miserably because God's in charge. Expect big changes. expect big changes. So it's not a prediction show, right? It's but I want to tell you, the next year is going to be filled with shocking surprises. This movie that we're all in, this wonderful, beautiful movie that we're all in. Oh, thank God for it. Thank you, Lord, for helping us. Thank you, Lord, for bringing us. Thank you, Lord, for guiding us and teaching us and opening our eyes to more so that we're not scared. There's torment and fear. No, but we are more than conquerors. That no matter what weapon is formed against us, it's not going to prosper. No. Because God is with us. That's the thing. This is why it's so important to pray and have faith. Relax. If you build your house on that strong foundation, it doesn't mean a tsunami's not going to come. It just means that if the tsunami and nonsense comes, your house is going to still stand. You're going to be okay. And I promise all of you, trust in God. You're going to be all right. Don't trust in religion. Don't listen to other people who are telling you this is this and this is that. Don't listen to even, well, I hope you listen to me. I hope you do. I hope you love and forgive and everything. But I'm not the end all be all. I'm not the source here. I'm just a witness, right? Just like you are. Hopefully, because we need more of you. We need more of you. And if you want, you can get the shirt and tell people. All right, I love you. I got to go. I'll talk about the water tiger on the next program. I hope this has not gotten you a little upset because I probably shouldn't have mentioned it. But I talked about so many other things. So many other things. All right. I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Please subscribe. Please share. And please have the best day ever. Give a hug to somebody, will you? Give them a hug. Tell them you love them. Sometimes when you're married, right, or you have children, sometimes you forget. Just saying to somebody, I love you. Telling somebody you're beautiful. Saying kind things to people. We forget to do this because we don't hear it ourselves and we're like, well, be a bucket filler. Don't be a dipper. And I got to tell you, most of you are not. I want to thank all of you for helping Larry. I spoke to him. He was sobbing. He was so blown away by all your generosity. I was like, I know my heart, and if you like what I'm sharing here, that means that our hearts are pretty much the same. So I wasn't surprised, and I'm so grateful because he was really at the end of his run. And it's amazing how that song, because like I said, he's a brilliant songwriter, and his YouTube channel, I think it's just Larry Ford Leak, or I'm going to link it in the description below if you want to subscribe to his channel and listen to the rest of his. His music's nice, and it gets you to think, which is good. And I think you all helped save this guy. I really do, because what a devastating loss, right? And so many of you are going through the same thing. We're all here for each other. I'm here for you. Email me if you need to. Contact me if you need to. Just keep them short because I get a lot, and I always try to reply. I almost always do reply. I love you. I gotta go. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
September 10th. Mars hangs closer to the Earth than it has in 6,000 years. Like the light that led men from the East to a child in a manger, it could well be a sign of good things to come. Thomas James shall be his name. The world will change because of him. In the small town of Bethel, in a time not unlike our own, a child with a great purpose is born. Years later, alienated by his peers and abused, Thomas suffers a devastating loss. When it appears he has nothing left to live for in the world, this is when his true calling begins. While trying to escape the sinister powers that be, a terrifying vision haunts him. Miraculous events seem to follow the peculiar young man as he struggles to come to terms with what he was born to do. The stage is set. The time is at hand. The truth will rise and a revolution will begin. The startling revelation of who Thomas James is, truly, will change the lives of those around him and set off a chain of events long ago foretold. There is more to this novel than one might think. Inside these pages hides a treasure just waiting to be discovered. So if you've ever wondered if there's more to life, or why it is we suffer, then this story will not only captivate you, it may just open your eyes to a truth that could set you free. Find out what is in us all that makes us heed the calling